Hi guys, we are back for part 4 of my IVF journey. This video is just going to be about my first frozen embryo transfer. Now, I know you guys heard me say first, so it's gonna be a pill to swallow. I think I'll be able to get through it, but who knows? All right, so let's just dive right into it. Okay guys, so here we are, my story, my first frozen embryo transfer. Oh boy. So this story is gonna be a bit rough, but my husband and I, you from the last video, you guys basically found out, that I had a little bit of a delay and the rush just to even get to start this part of the journey. So yeah, it was a lot. But here we are, February of 2020. We are starting our first frozen embryo transfer. I literally, like I said, my period is always on time to the T. So literally my period came full when it was supposed to come. I went to my first appointment as my nurse, indicated that I should be, and I started my estrus. So I got my blood work done, they checked my levels, and then they started me on the estrus. First, he started me on 2 milligrams a day, 2 milligrams 2 times a day. So he started me there. It was a slow process. Guess what? My tech was there as well. My favorite tech, she was still there. She was also going through, but she was a little bit ahead of me. She did give me some hints. She didn't tell me she was pregnant, because like I said, she started before me, and then I got a month delay because of the whole thing in January. So I believe she started in January. So I think everything kind of went through good with her. And I pray that it did. As I'm filming this video now, I actually haven't seen her as it's, since everything with COVID, but that's a whole nother video. She was telling me, she's like, I don't want to say and everything, but she was just talking about the progesterone, and she was telling me how, how she's still feeling it right at the moment, everything like that, how it hurts so much, and she can't get the thought out of her head. So I was like, oh my God, like I'm not looking forward to that. She gave me the creeps at the moment. So, but she did my sonogram, and this is basically to check my lining. She communicated with me on how my lining was doing, where I was at, everything, like throughout my whole process. I did have 1 or 2 texts in between her, and oh my gosh, the tech was so quiet. I had to pull information out of her, and that drive me crazy. I was like, okay, so how's my lining? I'm literally on the bed. So how's my lining? Where am I at? What's going on? Talk to me. I mean, you can't just be sitting here, and not communicating. I want to feel comfortable. So I know I'm a tough cookie sometimes. So she told me, she's like, okay, so my lining literally, it was like at 4 millimeters. Then it went to I think the next appointment I had, which was a couple days, it went to like 6, and then the next couple days, and it went to 8. And then they gave me like an extra couple days, and it was like 10 and change. So my lining was like really, really good. Like I said, I started to take my estrogen. He started to increase the doses. That's why, because he wanted me to get there a lot faster. He scheduled my frozen embryo transfer for the 21st of February, and I will always remember that day. And I was super excited. I was like, oh my God, like my embryo is about to be transferred back inside of me. I was so excited. My husband as well. We were all, like I said, going with the flow, taking it with a grain of salt on how this was gonna go. We started the progesterone shots. My husband started me off. He started me off. I remember when me and my tech were talking, and she was like, her husband was so excited to give her those shots. I was like, my husband was the opposite. He was like, I ain't doing that. He felt so uncomfortable. He's like, to give you a shot. And when he was giving me the shot, he was like so careful. I'm like, the longer you take, the more it hurts. Hurry up. It was a struggle. But he got the hang of it, and then after a while I just started doing it myself. It's crazy because I just started doing it myself because usually have to work late, and the timing, you have to do it at the same time every single day. So I had no choice but to do it. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like I have no choice. I really need to just do this by myself. So I started to do it by myself. It was, you know, it wasn't bad, but it started to burn. Yes, I really have to saw my hand movement. It started to burn because, oh my, like this thing, the initial chuck does hurt a little bit. Once it goes in, it was fine. But when I was finished, and it started to really, really burn. It was to the point where every night I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just like rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. It just hurt. And then my day of the transfer came. Nothing crazy happened, thank God, because like I said, you guys know my story of my retrieval. If you haven't seen it already, but hopefully you guys have been following this process. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you right now, I was freaking out. I was staying calm, but at the same time I was like, okay, you know, I got this. Staying positive, like I said, the whole time, staying positive. Went into my transfer day, went to the appointment. I was by myself. My husband had to work, but it was fine. It was not a problem for me. You know, at the end of the day, his job is a little different from mine, you know, so I was just like, you know what, go ahead, I'm good. So he, you know, he went to work. So I went in for my appointment for the transfer. They called me in, I changed into my gown. Of course, I got seated on my bed and everything like that. And, you know, the nurse came to me, she sat down, she gave me all the to-dos. She said, no intercourse. And I know some clinics are different. Some of them say you can, you know, but mine said no intercourse. Heavy mild cramping is fine. Take Tylenol. Do not take ibuprofen, Advil. There was things that they do not want you to take. They said some spotting may occur. You know, just the natural to-dos and don'ts. They said eat healthy, everything. So I was fine with that. Then, you know, it came to transfer. My doctor came to me. My embryo was actually graded 4BB. It's average. I was still learning about what the gradings were. I'm still learning. It's 4BB, so it was average. And we went for the transfer. I was, like I said, I was a little bit nervous. I felt myself shake a little bit. I mean, I wasn't as relaxed as I should have been, but you know, it went great. It went smooth. He showed me the whole thing. And that's what I love about doctors. They show you everything. Like, they show you everything. Like I said, the text, sometimes they don't show you nothing. You know, but doctors, they show you everything. Like when my doctor does my sonograms, he faces the screen to me and he says, well, this is what's going on, this is what it looks like. Awesome stuff. So it was great. I finished my transfer. I lay back on the bed for 10 minutes. I got up and, oh yeah, so then I got ready. They let me sit down for like 10 minutes or whatever, and then I got up and I went to get ready to go home. So I went home, I relaxed, everything like that. Now this was my downfall, and I feel like it bit me in the ass. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When my retrieval was scheduled, my friend had a birthday, and that retrieval was scheduled around the time my friend's birthday was. And it didn't hit me that I actually was the planner. Remember the guy I told you guys I'm an event planner. Right after my retrieval, yes, I came home and I slept basically all day. But at night, I went over to her house and I was just like, you know, putting certain things together, whatever the case may be. I wasn't doing anything crazy, but at the same time, I felt like I shouldn't have been doing that. You guys have no idea how much my mind was on my embryo, and she didn't know. Nobody knew. And the thing is about it, she didn't know, and she actually was going through a procedure herself, that went through a procedure the day before that I knew about, so she couldn't really do much. So here both of us incapable but she doesn't know that I'm incapable, you know, trying to put this birthday together. And the reason, you know, put this birthday for her together, and you know, it was a simple thing, but at the same time, I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, I shouldn't even be doing this. And that's all I kept saying in my head, I shouldn't be doing this. And that's my fault. I blame myself wholeheartedly. And the next day, it was the day I didn't have to do much, but I was on my feet a lot that whole day because it was the actual day of the event. I try to sit down as much as I can. Sorry, I try to not do as much as I can, but I still felt like I did a good bit that I really shouldn't have been doing. And then after that, I rested. I rested, I worked. I had no choice but to work. It helped me take my mind up. I did not take any pregnancy tests. I just said, you know what, I'm gonna leave it in God's hands. I just left it alone. My beta day came, and I'm sitting like, I don't know what is this going to be. I don't know if it's going to be positive, and it's going to be negative. I don't know what to expect. So my beta day came, and I was at work. Went into my early morning monitoring. I got a call like around noon. They usually call you pretty quick. And the nurse told me, I went to the bathroom because I didn't know what to expect. And the nurse literally said to me, congratulations. And I'm like, I'm sitting in the bathroom. Somebody just came out the stall. And as soon as they left, I'm like, what? She was like, she's like, you're pregnant. I'm like, no way. Like, I thought I was like in shock. I was like, what was my beta? She said it was 100. And I was like, oh my God, like this is unreal. Everything. Like, I was just like, this is weird. Like, I didn't expect. I'm like, really? My baby's stuck? So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, no matter what I did the first 2 days, which was insane, I'm like, my baby's stuck. Like, it really hit me. And I immediately called my husband. I was like, guess what? And he was like, what? And I told him, and he was like, are you serious? And both of us was like super excited. He texted me even after I got off the phone, like, I can't believe we're gonna be parents. Like, we were just like through the moon, through the roof, And it was such a great feeling, such a great feeling. Then the next 2 days was my second beta. I went to my second beta, and they called me back and they told me, okay, your beta they wanted to double. So they was like, it didn't double, but it increased. So I said, okay, how much did it increase? Honestly, I don't remember what the beta was, and I really gotta ask them that. I think it was because the situation was so traumatizing. I really tried to kind of like tune everything out of my head. So it took a lot for me to even get to this point to create this video. When she told me that it didn't double, but it increased, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay positive because anything could happen. There's so many stories out there where it didn't double the second time, but the third time it tripled. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, you know what? Let me just stay positive, everything. My husband instantly started acting like I had a baby in my belly. The way he was treating me was different. I'm like, this is so weird. But it was so cute. But it was nice, We just took it at a grain of salt. We just, prayed to God. Everything was gonna be okay. We just kept it going. Then the next beta came. And night before that, I just said a prayer and I was like, God, your will be, And I went to the beta. I went to work, and this whole week I've been working, just doing everything that I was supposed to be doing, keeping my mind off of it, right? But we're natural, we're humans, we're gonna just consume all of it all at once and just go crazy. I just remember waiting. And mind you, nobody knew we were going through this process because I wanted to kind of wait and surprise everyone. And this, that was me. I wanted to just leave it a big surprise. So nobody knew that I was doing this. My husband and I agreed we're gonna leave it alone. We're not gonna say anything. I waited and waited all day. My doctor calls me, not my nurse. And this is literally like almost at the end of the day. Instantly, my heart dropped. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like, this is not gonna be good news. When you just feel it in your heart, it's not gonna be good news. I felt it in my heart that it wasn't gonna be good news. And he called me, and the first words he said, and I'm sitting at my desk, like I said, I'm an accountant. So I'm sitting at my desk. I didn't even have time to move away. I'm sitting at my desk. Thank God, the 2 cubicles that were next to me, nobody was sitting there at the time. They stepped away from their desk. So I'm taking the call, and literally he said to me, I am so sorry, Naika. Unfortunately, I'm not calling you with good news. I literally sat there and I was like, okay. Like, you don't know how to respond. So I'm like, okay. And he's like, unfortunately, your pregnancy is no longer viable. The levels dropped. I'm so sorry. You stop taking all the medications so that your body understands and knows that you're no longer pregnant, and so your period can come. And I was just like, okay, like I don't know how to respond. And I sat there and the tears started to roll down my face. And I said to myself, okay, I'm not gonna break down here at my desk. I'm just going to try to step away, you know. And I had my tissue box there because we always have one by our desk in case we're sick, blowing our nose. And, you know, I started to, like, you know, pat my eyes and everything. And then at that moment, I was like, I called my husband and I told him. And I didn't even call him. I texted him it because I couldn't call him because I was sitting there. If I call this man and I tell this man right now, I'm gonna, and he was at the time throughout the day, he was in like a really, like, the route that he was on that day was crazy. So I couldn't really talk to him on the phone like I wanted to. So I texted him anyway. And when I told him, he was like, what? Like, you know, like his response. And then, like, he was like, are you okay? Because, I mean, he instantly knew that I did not take that very well. And I was like, I don't know. And then I said, you know what? Let me call mom, which is his mom, who I'm extremely, extremely close with. So I called her and I went into the conference, like my conference room. That's when I actually stepped away. And I said to her, where we went through this process and we just prayed it worked out, and we wanted to just leave it a surprise. But unfortunately, it was positive, things was going good. I wanted to make sure that we reached a certain point where it was safe to leave a surprise, because my mother-in-law lives in Maryland, and she would, you know, she always comes up and sees us. So it was a perfect opportunity for me to just kind of talk to her in person and surprise her and everything like that. So that's what we wanted to do, leave it a surprise for in person, because she was planning to come up soon. Actually planning to come up in March. And literally, I went into that conference room and I said to her those words. Right after that, I just started to bawl crying. Like, I couldn't consume the emotions anymore because you try to hold it all in. And I started to bawl crying. Like, I was literally on that conference room, ready to crawl under the conference room table. Like, I was just like, and I'm at work, you know. I mean, it was hard. I mean, and I messaged my boss, and I didn't even tell my boss I was going through. And it's good to communicate so that when they're aware of your appointments. She knew I was going through monitoring and stuff, but she didn't know I went through the process. So I messaged her and I told her what happened. She was like, go home right now, because she felt so bad. I said, I don't know if I could go home. I really didn't feel like I wanted to be alone, you know, because my husband was still working late or everything. And like I said, my mother-in-law was in Maryland, and I literally just was bawling on the conference room floor. I couldn't just hold it anymore. It was a lot. I am doing a lot better with, you know, coping with it. Like I said, nobody should have to go through this process and feeling this kind of pain. It sucks. But, you know, it's one thing when you get, like, it's a bummer when you get a complete negative result. But it's another thing when you get a positive result and you feel so excited about it. And the next thing you know, it just completely just takes a complete left turn. So it has been really hard to consume those emotions month after month. It took some time. And then it really hit me, unfortunately. Like, I bawled out then, but it didn't hit me completely until my body, like I said, I had to stop taking all the medications, and my body just started to and my period came, and I just started to, you know, get rid of the baby. And I was just like, this is crazy. Like, this is happening. And I bawled in my husband's arms. I mean, I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. I mean, it was really, really a lot. It was really, really a lot. Since then, I've kind of overcome and I've gotten better with talking about it. I haven't really told anybody. This was kind of like the first time I'm actually opening up. I actually kind of sent this video to certain people before I published it, so that way they're aware of it in case they were scrolling through YouTube and end up seeing the video and like, wait a minute, she never told me. I kind of just sent them that before I published this. It just, you know, out of them understanding why I haven't really spoken about it or anything like that. We're staying positive. We're staying strong, completely strong. We're gonna get through this. We're about to take the next step of our second round. It would have happened sooner, but guess what? COVID-19 happened. And when COVID-19 happened, everything came shut down. So what can we do? This is basically up to date of my history up to end of February, beginning of March, of what I've been dealing with for my journey. There will be more videos to come because here we are in June and it's happening again. I will be talking about experiences with COVID and this process. So I hope you guys enjoyed this 4-part series of my IVF journey from start to midway. Thank you guys for really tuning in and watching in and taking in my whole story. We are all there for each other. This is a journey that many of us have different paths and stories of, but we're always there for each other. We could always talk and really have each other to lean on. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please, of course, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Bye, guys.